Snoogs, have you got a who the said that? Because I just realised I haven't got one.
I think I have one.
Oh, Grejio's got one. Just changing it up. Have you got one? Go ahead.
It's an old one too, so you may not know it. It's a high-pitched sound. Hot rubber eternally pressing against a blackened pavement. A wheel is forever, and a car is infinity times 4.
Wow, that's a really distinct line to say. I think if I'd heard that, I'd probably remember that.
You're going to have to go back to possibly your high school, late high school era.
Say it again.
So, it's this. It's a high-pitched sound. Hot rubber eternally pressing against a blackened pavement. A wheel is forever. A car is infinity times 4.
Oh, God. Are we going so
deep too?
Are we going so far back as to say that it was in a text bubble rather than actually spoken word?
No, it should have been spoken.
Oh.
I believe it was spoken.
Yeah. I have no idea. You might know what it is.
Might have it. Yeah. I'm thinking maybe driver.
You're on the path, but it's not driver.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know, Rem?
I was thinking more Need for Speed or something.
No, it's way too deep for Need for Speed.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking.
And to be fair, this came out when Need for Speed didn't really have dialogue, except for to explain the specs of the car.
Yeah.
The Ferrari 512 TR is a...
Yes, I remember those days. All right, well, we'll find out who the said that at the end of the show. So, without further ado, let's start the show. This is episode 224, and today is Wednesday, the 1st of August, 2018. Welcome to the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. I am your host, Lucas, and here with me is a... What? Hang on a second. A wild Snooglepoof has just appeared. Hey, Snoogs, how are ya?
Oh, good. I knew that was coming, but I didn't expect it like that.
And also here with us is the hard-working mother and gamer, Remutha. Welcome, how are you?
I'm not too bad, and I've got some great Pokeballs if you need them.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Oh dear, the hard-working mother/father and gamer. Right, anyway, but last but not least, we have the guy who spent all of last week leveling up and feeding the chickens, Grejio. How are you, mate?
Feeding the chickens, eh? I mean literally, or is that the euphemism?
Well, I'll
I'm not sure I got to do either of those, to be honest.
All it means is you should shut your blinds.
Oh, that's not going to help him, Snoogs.
Yeah, look, I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be here and make sure that all goes well, because apparently last week fell apart without me.
Yeah. Well, it didn't. It turns out that it didn't. There was a suggestion that there was no code word at the end of the podcast, and that's why I made that comment that it all goes to hell when Greg is in here. But then somebody else came to the rescue and said, no, it was. The code word was Snooglepoof.
Snooglepoof.
Of course it was. That's right. I remember that. I did listen to the show twice, but I still... Well, essentially 3 times with editing, but I'd forgotten about it anyway. But there was a code word, so it didn't exactly fall apart, but it's fantastic to have you back.
Yes.
Lovely. All right. Well, before we start, here is this week's show in preview. We're going to do video game discussion, as always, and then we're going into reverberation. Then we're going to do What's That Sound? Then What If? And then we'll do last words and bring the show home. So first up, let's go into video game discussion. Okay, so it has been... Oh, actually, before we kick off with the poll of the week, which is kind of like a little bit of a tradition now, let's say hello to the people who have got in the chat. Skrill, how you doing? And On The Run, welcome as well. Thanks for joining us live during this recording. Poll of the week. Right, now let's see what you guys think about this one. Now, the poll was, paying for online gaming consoles is ridiculous and should be free. So, like, the online services being PS Plus and Xbox Live Gold, I think it's called. And also, Nintendo will be following suit later this year with whatever they're going to call it, Nintendo Online or something. 412 votes this week, which I think is probably the biggest participation rate that we've had since we started doing these polls. 66% agreed. What a rip-off. Paying for these services. Obviously 34% disagree, saying quality costs money. What do you guys think?
I've gotten used to it now, I think. The only time I really get the shits is when it goes down for a day, like it did the other day.
Which one went down?
PSN.
Oh, okay. Was it
14 hours or something?
Oh, that long?
Yeah, well, I wasn't home for a lot of it, but yeah, I was looking at stuff online, and a lot of people in the different PlayStation forums that I perused through were having problems from first thing in the morning. There were still people late at night that were having trouble getting in.
Well, I didn't hear about that. I did hear that it went down, but I assumed that it was only like for a couple of hours. I didn't realise it was 14 of them. Yeah,
it was pretty full on apparently.
Yeah, must be getting close to Christmas then.
But yeah, see, that probably is the one thing that I would get the shits with. You're paying a premium. I obviously didn't play my PlayStation within those 14 hours, so I didn't get affected. But that's the sort of thing, I think that's fair that you would get pretty annoyed paying for a service when you can't use it. And I would imagine with a 14-hour interruption, there's probably not really going to be any... What's the word I want?
Reimbursement.
Reimbursement is a good word. Thank you. See, it goes to shit without you, Greg.
No.
I was going to go with compensation, but
compensation is even
compensation
better.
Also works.
That's very good.
To be fair though, it's like 14 hours when you look at it as a 14-hour period. That's a long period of time. But when you look at it in the window of a month or a pay period of your subscription, it's really next to nothing. And yeah, it's inconvenient, and sometimes the company will sit down and go, all right, it was inconvenient for a bunch of people, we'll do something about it. But at the same time, not doing anything about it to say sorry is also becoming kind of a social norm these days where they just don't care really. And to be fair, when you look at it in the big picture, it's 14 hours.
Yeah, look, you're right. I agree. 14 hours in the scope of things is nothing, but it's a paid service. So I would expect, and for 14 hours, I wouldn't expect a free game or anything like that. That's a bit ridiculous. But I think maybe swing everyone, and I know they can do it, 24 hours extra on their monthly window of the PSN pay cycle. Do you know what I mean? Give me an extra day on my subscription for the month.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to put them out of pocket too much, and I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
It can be done, and I think they have done that in the past. But yeah, I haven't heard anything. But where I stand, I agree. My point of view here is that, look, I understand why we're paying for it, and there's that argue with, you don't pay for it on PC, it's free. But PC, well, the platform of PC doesn't actually do anything for you. When you're talking about security and all of that, you're looking at the individual games for that. The games are providing things like, I don't know what it's called, but they got those anti-cheat things and, all the protection that comes with the game. And when you install the game on Steam, it'll install that with it. And those are the things that's how it works. The actual platform of PC, PC isn't a gaming platform. It's a I don't know what you would call it. It's just a all-round platform that does everything. It just happens to have games on it as well. So it's really in a league of its own. To say that, well, PC you don't have to pay for online, whereas on consoles you do. You're not really comparing apples with apples there. It's apples and pears. That's what I think anyway. So I understand having to pay for it. Now, I'm used to it now. I wish I didn't have to, but you do, and I'm happy enough with the service that I get.
I'm happy enough for the flip side of it too, because if you weren't paying for it, then you wouldn't, like you said, you wouldn't have that security. But I think you'd also be a lot less lacking in things like exclusive games.
Yeah.
Like especially, it's more so on the PS front than it is the Xbox, because Xbox has crossplay with PC and all that sort of jazz. But the fact that you have, a Sony studio and, branded like someone like Naughty Dog, who's Sony exclusive, part of the money that they make has to come from somewhere, and part of the service that's provided is we're paying for that service to get online. We're paying for the upkeep of servers, and we're paying to have those next level of games in development. So we'd all like our pockets to be a bit heavier, but it's a small price to pay, really. I think at the moment.
The fact is, you have to pay for the service. At the end of the day, someone has to pay for it, and at the end of the day, they're not a charity. So why should they give it to you for free?
But
that's really the bottom line.
If you've got issue with the fact that you're paying for online to play online and all that sort of stuff, just look at it from a different perspective and just, well, okay, I'm paying $10.95 a month to get, well, hundreds of dollars worth of free games every month that I have access to.
Yep.
And then you can play online for free then. It's just it's just one of those things. And these things are completely optional. If you've got issue with it, you can go and get yourself a PC.
Yep. One thing I'd like to see change, though?
What?
The PlayStation Network become an international network, like the Xbox. So we can go on to different websites where you can go and buy Xbox Live. Because I paid, instead of paying, $90 Australian for Xbox Live for 12 months, I paid $55.
Yeah.
Because I got it during a sale that was on, and it was an overseas website. So, and that's something you don't get with the PlayStation Network, and especially like some of the big sales when they're on Xbox, they're international. When they're on PlayStation, it's very region specific. Like the Canadian sales are brilliant, and the dollars are very closely matched up. So you get some good deals, but it becomes problematic too.
Yeah. Here's one other thing. I'll try and keep this as short as I can because it's something you could waffle on about. But let's take for example, an Xbox One X, which is a powerhouse console, $650. If I want to go and get a PC that's going to be better than the Xbox and, it does this and that, it's 60 frames and I don't have to pay for online, all that sort of stuff. Say, for example, my PC, you're going to be up in the ballpark of $2,000. If you take $650 and pay for Live for, let's say, 5 years, I don't think you're going to get anywhere near $2,000, are you? I'm not real good with math.
No, you'd be lucky if you make $1,500 at that rate.
So
yeah.
It's definitely the values there. Because yes, PC does this and that, it's free this and that. But if you want a competent PC, you're paying a lot more than you are than like a console. It's the money's coming out of your pocket regardless. It's one of those things. But yeah, I thought I really didn't think that we were going to get the majority voting saying that it was a rip-off.
I think it's an emotional response to the question.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah,
I think it's just the fact that people don't like paying money, and when the question is asked, do you think you should pay money for it? People instantly go, well, no, I don't. They don't actually think about what they're balking at. Really, It's just it's an emotional response.
Yeah, you're probably right. That probably explains how bizarre it is, but anyway, is what it is. But 412 votes, it was very bloody emotional, I'll tell you that much.
Speaking of emotional,
yeah,
you all missed me last week, and I sat down and I listened to the podcast, and I thought I'd write some notes about things that I would have said during the podcast.
Yes.
I kind of got partway through before I realized I should be doing this. So there's a couple at the beginning that I thought of but didn't write down, and I've forgotten what they are. But we'll get to we'll start off with Tech Headland, because you were talking about 4K gaming.
Yes.
And I think that was also the poll. So there's a couple of things around 4K gaming. Now, Snoogs made a comment that he doesn't like playing 4K on his TV.
Yeah.
I would have agreed with him. I would have been on the bandwagon of, I don't particularly like playing 4K. I don't generally like 4K on a TV for that reason. But I do agree with how you explained it. So we could have had one of those moments of, but anyway.
The things that Snoogs specifically tries to avoid because he hates the music.
This is true.
Yep.
You try and bait.
Sorry. Keep going.
Then you mentioned a game 20XX.
Yes.
Which reminded me of 20XDX, which you may or may not know, but there was a website that I used to frequent as a high school student called homestarrunner.com. And there was a character called Strong Bad, and he created an anime version of himself. It was called 20XDX. And I instantly had that come up in my head when you kept saying 20XX.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway.
Moving on.
Who dat?
No, it's in my head.
I'm gonna say that your who dats last week, the who dat, were really good.
Thank you.
They were good enough. I know you asked the question. I'm giving you the answer. They were good enough.
Awesome. Cheers, man.
Then you made a comment about playing Monkey Island.
Yeah, that
Now,
I've never played it. Yep.
I'm going to sit there and turn around and say, you've actually got it
Yeah,
on your Xbox.
Yeah,
So
I do.
there's you should have 1 and 2 because they've both been games with gold, and I know you get every single gold game.
100%. I do have them. I wasn't saying that I couldn't. I just said that I hadn't.
And having said that, I guess Guybrush Threepwood, because I have played them and finished them. I've even 100%ed the first one on Xbox. Anyway, what's that sound? That was Sonic, yeah?
Yeah.
And you can bleep that out because we haven't done what's that sound yet.
Yeah,
Just
that's right.
keep suspense. and it was the end of the level, yeah, because I guessed that as well.
Yes, that's exactly right. Well done.
Cool. And then the 4K versus UHD. Now, I didn't know about most TVs weren't 4K UHD, so that was really interesting.
Yeah, I thought that would blow a few people away, and it's why I realised in my video editing software there is a section there that says 4K and has 4096. I think that's what it is, which actually is 4K. So I can produce 4K videos on my computer, but I never understood what it was, so I always just went with the what is it? 20.
Well, I had an idea about that, and I'm going to help Fortnite out. I'm going to ring a current affair and tell them this piece of information so they can stop making articles about bloody Fortnite and start banging on the doors of TV sellers and going, what's this shit that we don't have 4K on 4K TVs?
Yeah, they're just...
And we can have the black and white slow panning images of dodgy TV salesmen.
Shift the focus from Fortnite to tellies.
Yeah. So, that's my rundown of things Greg would have said if he was there.
Very good. Nice. All right. Now, how about we get into some games we played? Snoogs, we played No Man's Sky. Next.
We did.
And I'm just going to come out there real quick and say, well, yes, they've addressed quite a few different things and fixed a lot of things. Oh, my God, I was so tired and nearly fell asleep playing that.
You know what No Man's Sky's biggest problem is?
It's boring.
It's too well, apart from that, it's too in depth for what it is.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is where you've got to, like, I understand it's a survival game at its core, but for the casual player that just wants to jump in and go and do, X, Y, Z, work their way through the story, it's very difficult because you've only got, a limited supply of oxygen. You've only got a limited supply of power to actually get your ship off the ground. You have to repair it. You have to replace everything. You've got to get a warp drive organized before you can jump to the next system. So there's all these little sort of things that happen within it that if you don't take the time to actually sit down, go through the meta, scan everything, pull things apart, and actually go and try and work out what to do, you will literally be stuck on one planet and just walk around in circles.
Yeah, it's
very
real,
unfortunate.
It's real slow to get going. Once you get going and learn the ropes, it's not too bad. But it's so annoying that when you get on a roll, you've got everything set up, you're good to go, and you focus on something you want to get done, and then you realise that you've run out of the launch fuel.
Yeah.
So you can't take off
to go and find it. Yeah.
So you got to go and find bits and pieces and do. And like you said, look, I understand. Yes, it's a survival game. You're supposed to have to do all these things because they want to make it realistic. But for the not so purist in this kind of game, it becomes tedious. And I think that's its biggest problem. Now, No Man's Sky I've never thought it was a bad game. But it's not one that I could keep invested in for a very long time because it does sort of get a little bit samey over and over.
Very, very much so. I kind of liken it. I sat there one night and I played it, for 2, maybe 3 hours, and just tooled around, built some more stuff for the base, and then started jumping to different areas around. Went to a moon and whatnot, just within the same system that I was in, and the exploration side of it is actually quite relaxing and soothing, and it is good just to go find a new planet. You're the first person there. Everything that you scan, you find out what it is, what's in it, and you can go about making it. You can change certain aspects of the planet with the different guns that you get. So there is that sort of Minecrafty feel to it, but again, it's when you think that I've got 5 or 6 hours into the Xbox version of it, and I haven't really got anywhere, that's where it kind of gets a bit stale. Aside from that, it's completely revamped. I have found out you can change from third person to first person view.
Yeah, that was annoying.
You've got to go into the menu.
Yeah,
you've got to go into the menu to do it. There's a lot of differences from when I first played it. I actually found animals this time around, planets with differing systems. A lot of times before, I only found toxic and sort of barren wastelands. Now I found places that are very lush, full of forests, have got big creatures on them. Still yet to see the big dinosaur-style creatures. I've mostly found sort of deer-looking things and some bear-looking things, but it's come a long way, and it's well worth the praise it's been getting. I did see someone say, "Is this the game of the year?" No.
Yeah, no. It is the game of the year version of No Man's Sky, as in it's better than the original. But I don't think it's anywhere near a game of the year contender. I'd like to see somebody who feels that way about it, and I'm sure there are plenty of people that love that kind of game, but yeah, it's just...
While it has multiplayer, there's still glitches.
Oh, yes. I ran into some bugs when I was tunnelling. Where, I think it happened to you too, where you would tunnel into the ground using your ground disruptor gun or whatever, and you'd go in for a bit, and then all of a sudden you would just pop back up onto the surface.
Just like a big ta-da!
Yeah.
And also, we got lost from each other quite a few times. because it would say that you're off planet or I'm off planet, or
that's right.
you're over the other side of this this lake, but I'm standing next to you. So there's still some things to work out, but yeah, other than that, so far so good. It's been a bit of fun. There's some very creepy characters that you can find. Lots of ways to make money. That's a bit. How you going? Yeah.
But it's
Well,
even
is
in.
there a corner you can stand on?
Is there a what?
A corner you can stand on.
A corner?
No, there's no corner.
I missed that one. That one went right over my head.
I'm not hooking.
Okay.
Okay. No, there's these eggs that you can find. So there's certain eggs where you can pinch them, and if there's any bots or sentries, I think they're called, if they're anywhere near you, they will just start attacking you.
Yeah, because they're worth a mint.
Because they're worth a mint. Yeah. There's another version of the eggs that you can find that are worth even more, that when you open the first pod to get them, an alien jumps out, and it's kind of like a xenomorph.
Oh, really?
Alien. Yeah. So very hard to kill, scary as shit. And we'll just go to town on you. So it's literally steal it, run, get in your jet and take off.
And hopefully you've got takeoff fuel.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, you even need to learn the language by finding these little collectible things around the world. Otherwise, you've got no idea what they're saying, and you kind of just got to guess.
Yeah, you just sort of... There's a lot of text-based stuff in it where you kind of... You'll go up to an alien life form and it'll be, they've grunted at me and it looks... And their eyes have changed, so I think I'll just leave them alone now when you walk away. And, yeah, there's a lot of that sort of stuff. But...
It's right.
That's part of it.
See, the thing is, go and find a second-hand copy of it. I don't know why people would buy it new, because it's pretty expensive from what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard $79.
Yeah, go and pick it up for $10 in the bargain bins, and it's free update, so you don't have to pay that much.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Because as much as I want to say that it's worthwhile, and it runs great on my day one Xbox. I could not justify $80 on it myself.
No.
30, yeah. I think I said in a previous podcast my max would be about $30, and I kind of still feel around that. Unless you can see yourself putting 100 hours into it. If you can see yourself as someone that would, sit down and play it for 100 hours, then more power to you. I personally couldn't get that sort of longevity out of it, I don't think.
I got a new monitor this week. Have you seen the photos of my fancy new monitor?
Yeah.
And it is UHD. But it's funny, in the bottom left-hand corner of it, it says UHD, and then in small print it says 4K, 2K. I don't know where they're going with that, but anyway, it's a 4K UHD, whatever you want to bloody call it, 38-inch Acer monitor.
Inch.
I went for... Sorry?
I was going to say...
Isn't it?
What did I say?
38.
No, it's 28. It's not 38. Jesus. That'd be massive. No, 28.
You bought yourself a new TV.
Gonna be excited.
28 inches, yes. Now, I only went for the 60 hertz model because I had a look at the 144s and all that. My God, the price skyrockets. They are phenomenal, the prices for higher refresh rates, which is essentially the ability for the screen to show 60 frames a second or more, Most of the games I'm playing, I'm just happy if they're at 60. I don't really care about above that, so I just went with that because it was probably near on half the price. But anyway, it's a beautiful monitor, a lot more real estate, higher resolution, also helps me have more things on the screen when I'm doing my video editing and audio editing for the podcast, so it's so good. And everything is so crisp and clear. It's so good.
Nice. Very nice.
Let's hear from you people. What'd you guys do?
Well, I've been playing Ghost Recon Wildlands this week.
Still plugging away at that one.
Well, it's year 2 stuff has now dropped.
Mm-hmm.
So while I didn't have the season pass for year 2, so I don't have whatever this new ghost mode is. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of new stuff in the game. So there's a new proximity mine. There's some new battle crates that you can open. There's a new currency system they've added, which you gain by achieving things in the game. Well, yeah, they're essentially loot boxes. The good thing about these, I don't actually feel dirty about them, because one, you get the currency via doing stuff in the game. Mm-hmm. Like, you can buy it if you want to, but you don't have to. The loot boxes aren't new to Ghost Recon. They've been there for a while. So they had battle crates and Ghost War crates. And essentially they just give you outfits, weapons, weapon skins, all that stuff, right? They've added one with the year 2 content called Prestige Crate, I think it's called. Anyway, as you do stuff in the game, either through playing Ghost War or playing the PvE element of the game, you earn these credits, and then you can buy these Prestige Crates. Now, the Prestige Crates will drop anything in the game, and it can drop multiple times in these crates. But once you open up 10 of them, you get to open up your choice of either a battle crate or a Ghost War crate. And they will give you 3 items that you don't already have. So essentially, if you keep playing the game enough, and it back credits you for the stuff you've already done. So when I turned it on the other day, I had like 9,000 credits because of everything I'd done in the game. So I instantly bought like 20 of these Prestige crates, which gave me, I think, it was like 24. I think I bought 24 crates, and out of the 24, I only got 4 repeat items, and then I opened up 2 battle crates on top of that. So that was like 26 items just there and then from turning it on and opening up these crates. So it's all that kind of stuff. I even picked up a new vehicle. I got a truck. I got an ambulance, actually. I can now drive around in an ambulance. I mean, whoopee-doo, but it's something. The other thing is they've got a bunch of, obviously, new challenges, and there's a Rainbow Six Siege one this month. So you have to work with Rainbow. One of their team members has gone rogue and is killing Santa Blanca Sicarios, and you've got to work with a group of Rainbows to find out why this one Rainbow's gone rogue and started killing everyone, which was really interesting. Challenges attached to that were actually really challenging this time. I think I spent, just on the first solo challenge alone, I probably spent way too long on it, but then I was a bit rusty. I spent most of the day trying to beat it, and then the second one, and I haven't beaten the third one yet because you've got to play the entire mission without dying, which is brutal. So yeah, look, I've really enjoyed getting back into it. It's, if you've got it on the console, if you've already got a copy, it's worth jumping in, just have a look at it if you liked it. But if you've already played the challenges and you don't particularly like that, and you don't really give a crap about the extra content they're throwing in it, it's probably not worth it. But if you really enjoyed doing the challenges, it might be worth jumping back in just to try this new one. If you like playing the Predator one and the Sam Fisher one, then have a crack at this Rainbow one. I think it's worth playing the mission at least.
I mentioned last week that I got a new car. I said to some people, tell us what you think I got. And it was pretty embarrassing what the suggestions were that I had purchased. So I'm not going to go through those again. But just for the sake of, I said I was going to reveal it this week. Not that I'm going to go into it too much because it's a car. There's no video games in it. It was a Nissan Qashqai is what I picked up. Brand spanking new one. Beautiful car. But yeah, so can you get a Qashqai in Forza 7?
Ooh,
I might go see if I can get one and then thrash it. That'll be all right.
And then sell the ACA as footage.
Yeah.
Who's in Qashqais?
And 4K. What is the world coming to? Hey, guess what I'm doing this weekend?
Dinner?
How are you going to know? That's weird. That'd be bizarre. If you actually answered and knew, I'd probably be like, whoa, dude, what do you got? A copy of my calendar? I am going to try out Simosity. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yes. You did tell me about this.
Yeah, I know you've heard of it, Snoogs. Rem, Greg, do you know what Simosity is?
No.
No.
Well, Greg, I could pretty much say you wouldn't be interested in the slightest, because what it is, it's an open plan VR experience in Sydney where you get to play a zombie survival game.
Oh, wow. Way to put all the things that I'm either cynical or dislike into one big thing.
Yeah. So what it is like, it looks from the, I haven't obviously been yet, but we've been invited to go and check it out, and think of an office building, or sorry, an office. Yeah, I guess an office. There we go.
Yes.
Think of an office, but take away all of the desks and computers and dividers and all that sort of stuff. And you just got this open room, and you put on what appears to be like a wireless VR kit, and you're holding an gun that's part of the VR thing. And it's 2 players at the moment. I believe they're working on making it 4 players. And you walk around in this room, so you're just actually walking around rather than sort of sitting or standing in the place. You walk around in this room and you shoot zombies that are coming at you. So I'm going to be trying that this Saturday, and I'll tell you all about it next week. But I'm really excited for it, so it's going to be cool. There'll be a video up on our YouTube channel. Probably won't be there by the time this show airs on Sunday, but it'll be some stage during the week. You can check that out. But yeah, I'll doing like a bit of a vlog video, which like I've done before, of the experience of the day. So I'm really looking forward to that. Keen as.
Sounds good.
Greg, you talked about Wasteland 2 a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
I tried it.
What did you think?
Not for me.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I knew it wouldn't be. However, you said something about you can only move your dudes all together.
Yeah, they tend to, like, I found they all tend to sort of move together.
No, because if you click in the left stick, because we're playing it on Xbox One, you click in the left stick and you can move them individually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Obviously missed that in the tutorial.
Yeah, oh well, I skipped all of the tutorials, just like, boring, let me shoot shit.
It was pretty brutal.
There was so much talking, and and I was just walking around, and you can switch which characters that you move, and I liked how it wasn't a point and click sort of thing. You didn't have a stupid mouse cursor which had to move with the stick. You actually move the characters in a top-down sort of thing with the stick. But if you and the rest of the other guys followed you. But if you click in the left stick, which I think I tried it to see if I could sprint or something, but then it deselects everybody else and you just run off on your own.
All right.
And then you can switch to another character and do the same thing and move them somewhere else and all that sort of stuff.
Well, that would make the game so much easier and so much more tactical. I might have to play it again now.
Yeah,
because there's nothing tactical about all just running in as a group. Just going, ah!
No, that's right, because it's got turn-based combat, and you've got like when you get into a battle, you get the grid pop up, and like you're suggesting, like if you're all just bundled together, there's no advantage to that.
No, there's not.
If you move them around and get them ready in all your strategic places, and then engage your battle, then you're going to be in the right spot. So but you can do that.
Yep, cool.
But it wasn't like it's one of those games where if I was away from home and that's all the only game I had, I could enjoy that.
Yep.
But in a world where I've got access to other games that I'd prefer to be playing, that's all I'm thinking of when I'm playing this kind of game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, look, I totally get it. You have to like the genre of game to really want to play it.
Yeah.
And like I said, for me, like I liked playing it, but I haven't gone back and played it. And the reason that I liked playing it was the nostalgia of remembering Fallout Tactics.
Yeah.
And then to be fair, I kind of went, well, I'm pretty sure I got a copy of Fallout Tactics flying around. I can just load that onto my laptop and play that if I really get the urge. So, yeah.
But this is kind of like Fallout Tactics, but it's modernised. You get better graphics and smoother gameplay and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I gave it a go and not so keen on it. There's a game that I was supposed to give a go and supposed to talk about this week, but I didn't get around to it, and that's the Mars DLC for Far Cry 5. I still haven't played that. So with a bit of luck, I might play that for next week. I don't know. I really want to play it, but I just never get around to it. But I did try Get Out of Hell, the standalone DLC for Saints Row 4.
Oh, yes. How did you find that? Because I've played that as well.
Nah, that didn't get my attention either. Turned that off pretty quickly after the tutorial.
I'm going to be honest, compared to the main game, it feels lacking horribly. Because there's a bunch of things that you can do in the main game that all of a sudden you can't do in the DLC. Yeah. And it just seems really bizarre.
Well, the thing that annoyed me most was, when I play Saints Row 4, Saints Row in general, I like making my own character, and I like playing a female and giving myself massive cans and wearing very little.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I was forced to play as a dude in this one, and I was like, yeah, nah. It's not what Saints Row is for me.
No. Yeah, no, I just thought I thought it was lacking. I did.
Yeah, but well, I'm a bit of a
perv? Yeah, you
are. Yeah.
You know what? Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's half the reason why I really like the new Tomb Raider games. Yeah, I could watch that chick swim underwater for hours.
Except that she drowns eventually.
Yeah, I know, and it takes ages to reload.
Wow.
That's how you worked that out. You were just swimming around and then you were enjoying it too much, and then she died, and you went, what happened there? Oh, right. Breathing.
Oh, dear. No, I just turned it all the animations into a GIF or a GIF. It just repeats over and over. Wow, what a creep! I'm just kidding.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
On that note, being speaking of creeps, I have some Destiny news.
So the biggest of creeps.
Oh dear.
No, it gets better.
I'll put my feet up, shall I?
There is a new project for Project D and Destiny.
Wow.
It's a D&D version, so a Dungeons and Dragons version of Destiny.
Oh, wow.
So they're building a Dungeons and Dragons campaign based on the world of Destiny. So that's currently available. You can support it on Patreon. I think they're in the Mate. It's
how much is it?
I don't know. They've designed a combat system, races, classes, monsters, and even mechanics surrounding light and darkness zones.
You know what? I'd play it.
I play it too, except I'm afraid that I'll buy the board for $40 and then realise I've got to buy the dice for another $5. Then the law book to go along with it, well, that'll be another $20.
That's all right. You only need one.
Well, I'll see if I can get some details up about this, so anyone that's listening can go over to Aussie Gamers Express and have a look. But I've got a very basic classes table. So a gunslinger is a lone wolf who lives for perfect shot. Your hit die is D6, primary ability, charisma, saving throw proficiencies is dexterity and charisma, armor and weapon proficiencies is all firearms and throwing knives. None of that means anything to me because I've never played Dungeons and Dragons.
What was that first bit that they used to describe the gunslinger?
A lone wolf who lives for the perfect shot.
You want me to translate that for you? Because I've seen what that is in PvP. What they do is they hide in the corner until they got their super up, and then they run out, pull one sniper shot with their golden gun, and then run back in the corner.
Oh, okay. So they're an ass.
So a fucking campo is what you're saying.
Yeah,
totally.
A striker at close quarters, a fist is better than any gun.
Other words, it's a fist of panic.
Yeah.
Depends on where that fist goes.
Bam!
Okay. So the guide itself gets incredibly elaborate. It goes in depth mechanics of each class, pretty much like a D&D player's handbook. Each class gets its own abilities, proficiencies, and even a super.
I'll tell you what. If this is a reasonable price, I will buy it, and the four of us should play it, and record it, and as like a podcast for people to listen to. We can all play. We can all play our characters. So I'm happy to play the Titan. I want to punch everything, and Rem can play her Warlock because that's what she likes to play, and you can play Sniper Joe in the corner, Mr. Gunslinger. So and look, Lucas can be the dungeon master, who's probably going to end up being someone like Master Raoul.
And I will fuck up all of your shit.
As long as it's not Eris Morn, I'll be happy.
Just stop giving me blue engrams.
Yeah, what's that? You're giving me a golden engram? Oh, a bit of shame if it was the same shit you already had. Bing! Oh, shit, it's blue.
Here's your 7th Dragon's Breath.
To give you an idea, a priority tester, so on Patreon, at this tier you'll have access to the Discord server and all that comes with it. Plus, they will have priority seating on the playtesting sessions. Playtester with the least amount of sessions that month will go first. If there are currently no sessions, you blah, 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 blah. So that's $5 a month. So, yeah, there's a couple of different tiers. Tabletop content is $7 a month. It's not badly priced for what it's going to be. The highest tier is $20 a month. So there's that.
Doom Eternal gameplay reveal is coming on the 10th of August. I predict that it's going to be pretty much exactly like Doom 2016. It's just going to have new guns and abilities. I'm pretty sure that. I don't think it's going to look any different.
It'll be eternal.
Well, yeah, eternally identical.
Going to be on Earth.
Also, Insomniac Games tweeted this week saying that Spider-Man PS4 has gone gold. And so it's going to be nice and ready for its 7th of September release date, which is cool because I'm looking forward to that one. Also, something that's kind of gone a little bit under the radar for me, I sort of just noticed people talking about it. I'm like, oh, this is an actual thing. Microsoft has come out and given a code name for their next console. Is that right? Have you guys heard that?
Sorry, Xbox.
Yeah, the new Xbox.
Yeah,
Scarlet, yeah.
Scarlet.
When did that come out? I didn't even...
Shortly after E3, so it's been out for a little while.
Head's been in the sand.
That's all right.
And there's also comments about there being two consoles coming out. But I feel like that's what happened before the Xbox One came out. There was talk of this second console.
Yeah, they keep talking about second consoles.
The second console this time is a streaming console. It won't have a drive or anything in it.
I think that's what they said last time.
Did they?
Yeah. But look,
promises.
If there's one way to transition to that, this is the way to do it, is to run them side by side and see how it works. Because you're kind of hedging your bets there without going for a full fail. So I think if it's going to work, it's going to work. But yeah, I don't know. It's still a few years away. I'd be happy to see what they come out with for the secondary mini version of the console, but I don't know. It'd be interesting. Also, last thing to mention for playing, last night we played Fortnite last night with Skrill, and we were going to do Playgrounds mode. It was yourself, Snoogs, and I, and Skrill. We're going to do Playgrounds mode, but when I got on there was a new mode on there where you just have jetpacks and rocket launchers. And we kind of fell in love with that mode because it's good fun. Just mayhem, everything blows up, and you can fly around. Cheers, Skrill. Yeah. You're listening in the chat there live. That was good fun.
Oh, I got a second before the show.
You got a set what?
I come second before the show.
Oh, right. Okay, you had another crack before we started. Oh, and Radicus.
Another crack.
Radicus is in the chat. Hey, buddy. Welcome. Good from Skrill. Good laugh. Cheers for having me. No worries, man. We'll have you any time, man. If you're keen as and we're around, send us a message. If we're good, we will jump on.
So I've got some more Destiny news as well.
Okay.
With the upcoming Forsaken DLC. Now,
Destiny 2.
Yeah, Destiny 2. So Forsaken. Is it Greg, I think?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So anyone who's seen the bits and pieces around the internet of it and the release video and whatnot, it seems as though Cage 6 is his time is short, so to speak. what compounds that, because he is probably one of the most favourite characters in the Destiny universe. The thing that compounds it is he's not going to be voiced by Nathan Fillion now.
Devastated.
DLC.
Oh, it's going to be Peter Dinklage.
Let's just rotate him around.
It's going to be the world's best paid voice actor.
Nolan North's just going to do everything in the end.
He will, yeah.
He is.
Just be one voice the whole way.
So Nolan North is going to be taking over for Cage 6. And people that have heard it said it's pretty much Nolan North imitating Nathan Fillion.
Oh, that's not a joke. That's for real.
No, that's not a joke. It is.
I was joking, just by the way. But now I realise that no, Bungie would stoop to that low.
And they actually are. So Nolan's going to be doing the bot as well as...
Yeah, so he'll be the Ghost
Cade.
And Cade. Yep.
Oh my god.
Luckily, those two characters generally don't talk to each other.
Conflict. Yeah, so there's no bad blood or anything. Apparently, it was just a scheduling conflict, and that's what's left us with the Nolan bot and
Nolan Gate.
6. Nolan Gate 6.
This is going to become Nolan Gate. You realise that, right?
Maybe he got the role. Maybe he's doing Uncharted movie after all.
Maybe he's doing an Uncharted movie. Maybe we're all wrong.
We can all hope.
I do have something about the Uncharted thing as well, actually.
What do you got?
Something that I found out this week. So I haven't done it myself, so I'm going to. You know how you said that he looked quite funny when he ran?
Yeah.
It was a piss take on the original game.
Yeah, of course it was.
So if you go back to the original game, which I've got, so I'm going to go and have a crack at it. When Nate runs, he's actually got this weird sort of run about him, and that's what he was copying.
That's awesome.
Not 100% sure if I believe that.
Yeah, so this is something I've read. So I'm actually going to go and do... I've got the remastered for the PS4, so I'm going to crack it up and then record and do them side by side to actually have a look how close it is. But,
was it a Reddit poster under the name of Faith and Nillion? Don't mock his running, guys. He was being intelligent.
Yeah.
He was mocking the game, really. It's not that he's 40.
I think he's closer to 50 now.
Probably.
He's in his 40s, yeah. But, yeah, so that's something to keep an eye for, unless it's completely wrong, and then I just won't show it.
Well, yeah, we just pretend it never happened.
Just pretend we just edit this out.
Radica says, I look funny when I run, like a Teletubby. Yeah, me too.
All right, mate. I only look frightened when I'm running, because if I'm running, there's a clown with a knife chasing me. I've also got some Gran Turismo news as well.
Oh, yeah, I remember that game.
There's been a big update this week. As of, I think, yesterday, maybe the day before, you can now purchase cars outright for real-world money.
Whatever.
Yep. So 12 months after it's been released, and the what's his name? Kazunori Yamachi. There it is. He's CEO of Polyphony Digital. He said there would be no microtransactions. So 12 months down the track, there's now microtransactions. So you can buy cars for 99 cents up to $2.99 per car, which is that's US. So it's about, $1.50 up to about $4 Australian. And yeah, you can purchase them instead of grinding out to get the in-game credits, because it's actually something that's quite hard to do. The rewards are still very low.
Yeah, heaven forbid you'd actually have to play the game.
To be fair, I still think that GT Sport isn't terrible for the grinding. Like, we've had worse Gran Turismos. Gran Turismo 5 was appalling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this one's not too... Actually, I don't even... Well, 6 if you didn't play online, was worse. If you did all the online challenges, they were really lucrative. And you earned, like, stupid amounts of money off the online challenges. And that's what they kind of funneled you into doing.
Just play the game, I say.
But with sport, I don't see why you would need to I guess the grind is there's like literally 5 tracks that you can race on, so it gets boring. It's kind of like Destiny, I guess. You're just grinding out the same tracks every day, just trying to make money. I guess in that instance, yeah, it's grindy. All right, fair point. Move on.
The other thing that's a bonus with it too, with the latest update, I was speaking to Roy Boy today and chatting about Gran Turismo and whatnot because he wants me to jump back on. Apparently now you're not limited to only 2 laps in VR. You've now got a time trial mode which just lets you go for as long as you want. You're the only person on the track, but it's in VR and you get to belt around for as long as you want without
Until you puke.
Until you puke, yeah.
It's called Until You Puke mode. It's a new challenge.
It's a new challenge. Get one of the Formula One cars and go screaming into a wall. See how you go.
See, there's another great video we can make. You just all take turns until we puke.
I'll go first.
See who
There's no challenge in that for me.
I'm happy with that as long as we're using Snoogs as VR.
Make it really challenging. You have to drink a litre of milk first.
Oh, jeez. All right, I'm going last then. Once I'm done.
All right, Rem, what I'm really hoping for this week, you've got some more mobile games for me.
I do.
Yes!
All right. So the newest ones I've been trying this week, Dizzy Dude. This is one where you've basically got like a fisherman, I guess he is, and he's keeps spinning around. He's all dizzy, and you've got to try and get him across all these different logs or little mounds of earth, and they've all got different obstacles. So some of them are timed, and then they crumble. Other ones have like rigged up explosives. Other ones have like spikes and things. So it pushes you to keep moving along the platforms as fast as you can, but the platforms are like only as big as your foot. So while you keep turning around, you've got to keep skipping these steps. It's actually pretty good and challenging. Worth a try.
Has it got a ridiculous amount of ads in it?
Not ridiculous. I mean, it does have ads. Just about any of these free games sort of do. But it's not enough for me to sort of go, no, it's too intrusive. You guys really like Love Balls, which I suggested to you guys a while ago. There's another one that's very similar called Hello Stars. Same idea, basically, where you're drawing on the screen to move things around and complete the puzzle. This time it's not 2 balls that you've got to get together. This one's you've sort of got to move one red ball through a puzzle to get to a star at the end, and it's not always in an easy to reach location. So you've got different parts of the scenery that you've got to work around or utilize to move the red ball where you want it to be. So it's kind of, it's a different take on it. And then every few levels you've got a little mini challenge where you've got a stick figure character and you've got to try and wake him up using the ball or something in the environment to stir him. So it's worth a try as well. Burrito Bison is another one. This is basically going to, I guess, Angry Birds territory where you're flinging your character across the screen, except instead of breaking down a fortress like you would in Angry Birds, you've got a whole army of bad guys, which are basically gummy bears, and you've got to bounce your way across them and try and make your progress as far into the level as you can. As you do it, you get currency where you can do upgrades to make you more bouncy or fly further or go faster or whatever it might be. And at the start of each level is like a wrestling ring. At the start of the level, you've got to try and take out health on a boss and try and get your critical hits in. And once you've completed that boss, you then move up to another one, which comes with new perks and advantages. So that one's fun. That
looks interesting. It's a Burrito Bison Launcher Libre.
That's the one.
Yep. Got it. Yep. Downloading it.
Last one that I really liked is called Power Hover Cruise. So this one's like a constantly moving scenery, like it sort of scrolls toward you, and you've got obstacles that you've got to get over or under or around, and your character is on a hoverboard. So you're constantly moving, and all you're doing is steering left and right by pressing the screen and basically trying to go over jumps and miss lasers and get through doorways and round rotating objects. It's actually really good. I found that one quite addictive this week. So if you're looking for something that's like, it doesn't take a great deal of concentration, but you do find yourself getting quite wrapped up in it too. That one's a good one. That one's fun. I like that one.
Lovely.
Give that one a go.
I'll check all of them out. Now, last week, Radicus, I believe it was, suggested Baseball Boy. I got into that. And it's a good game, but it's so invasive with ads that I just got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I've had enough of that. I also tried out that The Room that you mentioned as well. Now, the first one sort of indicates that it's free, but it's not really. It's just one puzzle that's free. So you can download the first one and you do the first puzzle and then it asks you to pay for the rest of them. I think I want to pay for it. I did like it. It was pretty cool. How you've got all these different puzzles that are around. It's like a lockbox.
Yeah.
And you do all the little bits and pieces to get into it. A good game, The Room. I also recommend giving that a go. But yeah, first one's not really so free. Radicus says that he paid, so obviously he doesn't get the intrusive ads on Baseball Boy. But that's the thing. See, if a game is good enough, I'll pay for it to get rid of the ads. You know, like I paid for Whole.io because that was an awesome game. But if I can't play the game enough to work it out and see if I like it enough because the ads piss me off, I'm not going to pay for it. Shoots himself in the foot there, I think, with me anyway. Where if it's too invasive, then I'm not even going to play it to fall in love with it. I'm just going to move on.
Right.
Yeah. This week I played a couple of games that I've gone back to, and I'm going to talk about them a little bit later in the show because we've got a segment which is going to be talking about mobile games. So I'll leave those. But I think that covers the one. Oh, was it? I think it was you. You mentioned Slime Pizza, did you? Was that you? Did you mention that? I don't imagine that.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you? Well, anyway, Slime Pizza. That's a cool game. You give that a go, Rem. We'll see what you think about it next week.
Will do.
It's a game where it's kind of strange. You play as a piece of slime, but you've got to flick it kind of Angry Birds style. But you're flicking it, and then it will hit like a next part of the sort of maze-like level and stick to the wall, and then you've got to flick it to the other side and then to the other side to get to the end. I also downloaded a game which I haven't really played it much as yet called Like a Boss. Kind of looks like Diablo, except you play as the boss, and you've got all these minions coming at you, so that's an interesting one. All right, anything else from you guys?
No, I think I'm good. Unless you just want me to make up some fake news. I'm pretty good at that.
Oh, why not? Everybody else does. Oh, look at this. The PS5 is going to be named Xbox.
Aubergine.
It'll be a step up.
George.
Oh, what about South Park's next DLC? Bring the Crunch. Pretty much it's just extra DLC. New enemies, new area. You go to Lake Titicaca.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
They didn't have to change that. They could have just left it as Titicaca. That would have been fine.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have Timmy running the show. So it's a new area. So far, I don't have the DLC pack, so I haven't played it yet. Everything I've read about it has not been good. But have a crack if you've got it. Make it your own one. All
right, well, let's go into our next segment, which, oh my God, this is going to be a crazy segment. It's called Reverberation. All right, what are we doing in Reverberation?
Do you remember this game?
Does everyone remember? No, I tell you what, the only people that don't remember this game are Pat and Lucas, and that's by choice because they're like, we don't like this game because we look like idiots.
We do.
Funnily enough, that's the point. So,
honesty,
it's there. So, I have come up with a bunch of gaming sounds and given these guys to listen to and try and memorize, and then we're going to ask them to reverberate them to each other, and the person that's not reverberating has to guess what the other person's reverberating, and you get a point for winning and whatnot. So let's start with Pat. What's your first reverberation?
All right. Getting the reverbal chords working.
I love this as a verb now. Hashtag it's a word.
You make that sound like every week.
No, there's different versions of it.
Oh. I'm sure there is. Oh.
Again, I think Luke needs it again.
Tetris.
Hey!
Hey!
Yes.
Got it.
Well
Yes.
done.
Nice
Yeah.
work.
It kind of sounds like a sheep. I've always thought it was like. No, actually, the second time you did that, Snoogs, that was brilliant.
Yeah, good work.
Sure, I'll play it.
Yes, yeah, that's
Yes.
it. Beautiful.
That's totally a sheep.
Yeah, a lamb. That's what I thought of when I was little. Oh dear. All right. Hopefully...
All right. Mr. Luke, what's your first?
Okay. I don't know if Snoogs even played this game because I sure as well hadn't. Hey! Yassoo! Hassoo! Shazam! Kasplat!
Oh, jeez, I know that one.
What?
I don't know, dude.
It kind of sounds like I should know it, but
Yeah, I think this is the kind of thing. If you'd played this game, you'd probably know what that was.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
it's not like that little dude that's like floating arms and shit.
Oh, Rayman? Nah.
Rayman, no.
No, but you're in the sort of ballpark. It's
That era.
Earthworm Jim. No.
No.
Nah.
Was Radica saying lemmings? Or worms? No, that's not it.
no. All right, Rem, why don't you put everyone out of their misery?
It's Croc.
That is right. It is Croc.
Yeah, here I'll play. Let's see. Croc, Croc, Legend of the
Gobbos.
The Gobbies.
Yeah. Gobbos. This is like the first game I ever played on PlayStation 1.
I'll play it so see how close or far away I was with the sounds.
I really like it. He's so
It still gets me.
passionate. He's like, Kersplat!
You know the game, Snoogs, eh? Like I know of it. I never played it though.
Never heard of it.
You're a little crocodile. It's like a Banjo Kazooie or that kind
Yeah.
Lucky's tail before Lucky was around.
Yeah.
of. Yeah,
Kinda.
it's something like that. Yeah. All right.
Mr. Snoogs, your second one, please.
Oh god, I don't even know how to make this noise.
I think that's what Greg does on purpose.
So it's the opposite end to where my voice sits. Oh.
Is that it?
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
That works.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Oh, that's not half bad. I've just got to think of it now.
Yeah.
He did a good job, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
did. Again, Mr. Business Dukes, Lucas needs it, and by Lucas I mean the listeners. It is. It's pretty close.
Oh, I know what that is, but it's not coming to me. I've got to get you to do it, Greg, if I can't get it off him.
You're right. That is the rule of the game. All right. There you go.
No, I don't know what that is.
You play the actual sound, Snoogs, if you can.
Oh, that's Mario shrinking.
There you go.
There you are.
There you go. All right, so my next one.
Yep.
Is all right. This one here. Double kill. Triple kill. Overkill. Killtacular. Kilimanjaro. Killionaire. Killing spree.
So good.
I like how I put in the description the word that I need for Lucas, but he goes all out and just does the whole clip.
Oh, did you tell me what? Oh, there was.
I'm cool with it.
It's dedication.
It's dedication is the role. True actor.
Oh.
It does sound familiar, but it's not. No bells are ringing.
Kilimanjaro.
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 Isn't that a mount?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like Broke Force, is it?
No. You require. I tell you what I have to do in the game to get the person to say this. You have to get 7 kills, and each kill has to be less than 4.5 seconds between each kill. So it's essentially a 7 kill, a heptakill, if you will, to get Kilimanjaro.
Nah. Lost.
Oh.
All right.
To do the ahs in Reverberation once before. I think you had to do it, Snoogs. It was for Halo. During Slayer, if you get 7 kills in a row, you get Kilimanjaro.
Triple kill, overkill, killtacular, killtrocity, Kilimanjaro.
There you go.
Only way that gets better is with confetti.
I watched the Kilimanjaro video today looking for a good clip of it, and the dude got a confetti headshot with a shotgun when he got his Kilimanjaro. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so that means we're up to Mr. Luke's third one.
No, that was my one, wasn't it? Was Snoogs' third one?
Oh, no, sorry, Mr. Snoogs' third one. Yep, that's true.
All right. This one's hopefully a little bit more in my vocal range. So, boom, 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 boom.
Oh. Is that good? Has he done it good?
It's not his best one.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, I'm not going to get it from that.
All right. There you go.
That kind of sounds like... Are we talking like old arcade Atari?
Possibly.
Ooh.
It is Reverberation, after all. It could be anything in gaming.
Is that like Space Invaders?
Yes!
Yay!
Good work.
Yeah.
Nailing it this week compared to normal when I get nothing.
Yeah.
Now, I actually think your version of it, Greg, sounds more like what I remember of it as a kid than that actual recording.
Maybe that's what I was going off. I was just going off my muscle memory of playing the game.
Yeah, probably. Oh, dear. All right. This last one's going to be hard.
Yeah.
I practiced it probably a couple of hours ago now. All right. And half the trick is remembering the sound to recreate it. Beep, 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 beep. That's terrible. This is so hard, this one.
What makes it difficult is it's kind of like two sounds at once.
Yes,
You got to try and replicate. So how about this? Do you want to do the high bit or the low bit, and I'll do the other bit.
Oh, how are we going to coordinate that?
Well, see, they're both kind of a repetitious sound. So, like, you just do the low. I'll do the low bit, and you do the high bit. It's like.
Beep,
There we go. Doesn't get better than that. That was a two-person reverberation.
Yeah, because like you said though, like they're almost on top of each other. The sounds, it's really hard to do, and there's a psst in there as well.
Yeah, at the beginning.
It's like, man, I don't even know if that dude from Police Academy would be able to pull that off. That's hard.
You know, the funny thing is, all I've got is Michael Winslow from Spaceballs in my head.
Same guy.
We've lost the sweeps and we're lost the creeps.
Same guy from Police Academy.
I'm just going to put it out there. If Michael Winslow ever guest stars on Age, I've got to do a reverberation episode.
Oh, 100%.
I got nothing. It kind of sounds familiar, but it's not. It's not bringing it anywhere tonight.
I'll play.
Whoa!
I'll play the actual
like the bottom
sound. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's the Half-Life health charger.
Well done, Radicus.
Oh, Radicus, yeah, he was in there with the actual sound. He got it. Yeah, when I heard that one before we started the show, when you sent through the sounds, I'm like, I'm going to have trouble with that. Oh dear! But that's all our sounds.
Good stuff.
That is all.
And this week, I'm proud to ask the question, Greg, who was our winner this week?
It was Snoogs. I mean, no, Luke.
Yeah.
Muscle memory almost just went Snoogs.
Shut up. Oh dear.
You are the supreme winner this week, Mr. Luke.
Whoop whoop. Yeah.
Yeah. Though you've tied with Radicus because he got 2.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, he got it with the real sound though. Does that count?
No, not really. You had to get it with the voice.
We can all be winners. He can be a winner too.
Everyone gets a win.
Yay! What's this? Just put a GIF in the chat. It's taking my phone dancing. A month. Oh, yes.
Celebrating.
Seinfeld. Gotta love a Seinfeld GIF.
GIF.
It's actually pronounced GIF because the dude who created it calls it a GIF, but I don't care. Yep. I'm not calling it a GIF.
But due to the popular pronunciation of GIF, it's just turned into GIF. The entire world has literally stuck their middle finger up to the dude that invented it and went, we'll take your creation, but we'll call it what we like. Exactly.
And it's just like Nutella. If you're going to call it a GIF, then I would appreciate it if you would start calling it Nutella, because that's what it's supposed to be called. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. It was actually on their website, phonetically spelt, so Newtella, Nutella. But it's stupid. I'm going to call it Nutella, because that's what I've always called it. Well,
since we're on this track, what about Beqa cheese? Have you ever pronounced Beqa cheese properly?
Beqa.
No, it's not. It's not. If you read the actual lettering, it's spelt Beqa. It's Beqa.
Is it a Q?
It is a Q. Actually, look at the letter. It's a Q. I shit you not.
Isn't Bega made in Bega?
It is, and due to laws that were around when they first named it, they weren't allowed to name it after the town.
Oh, it is a Q.
So they spelt it Beqa.
So it's Beqa.
And still pronounced it Bega, so they could get around the loophole, and being able to name it after the town, but not spelling it after the town.
My mind is blown. That is not a G.
You're right. It's a Q.
Oh my god! What have you done?
I broke the world.
Oh, we've got GIFs, we've got Nutella, and we've got Beqa.
Beqa.
Someone's divided by 0.
It's a Q without a U after it.
I know. It's one of the few words that you can say is spelt with a Q with no U.
It's like Skrill.
Yeah.
You've got a Q in your name, but there's no U after it. The rules are just being broken.
Or is it Escrill?
Or is it Seekrill? Escrill? I don't know. I've just been calling him Skrill. I don't know.
Maybe his Q is a G as well. It's an Escrill.
Oh yeah, Skrill. Escrill. None of that pronunciation is set for the I can't even speak. You read it.
Your Australian accent. None of that pronunciation is set for the Australian accent.
Exactly. Beqa.
Correct.
My God.
Except for Beqa, since that was made in Australia by Australians.
Some crazy shit right there. All right, let's move on to the next segment. What's that sound?
Let's. Whew.
Okay, last week's What's That Sound, we had this one. And Greg
did some mad air guitar just there.
Greg, you got it right. You mentioned it at the start of the show that you knew what it was when you were listening at home. And it is Sonic the Hedgehog. It's the end level little tune there. So congratulations to Marty. Martykins, I think, got that one right. Well done. And are you ready for this week's What's That Sound?
Hit me.
No cheating and watching what they're putting in the chat. Now, I'll just set it up a little bit. Last week, I promised that this week would be a real hard one.
Okay.
Let's see how you go with this one.
Ooh. Gave me tingles.
Ooh.
Play it again.
Sam?
Doom Shotgun.
It's not the Doom Shotgun. It's not Red Dead from Radicus.
That's a very specific sound.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
You reckon it's a pump or a cock shotgun?
Cock. Well done, Skrill. You had just advanced to level 5. Nukem shotgun. No, that is incorrect.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Radicus.
Yeah, that's...
Shit.
Oh.
For our eyes only, that one.
Yeah, we're not repeating that. Guess one. If you guys at home are wondering now, go to the podcast live and you can read it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, guess which comment. Yeah,
it won't be hard.
Kazakal, how are you, buddy?
Nice entrance.
Halo shotgun from Kazakal. Not correct. One more time. And then it's going through to the keeper.
Yeah, no. I know I'm going to kick myself when you tell me.
Oh, this is Quake. Oh. Whoa, is he deleting things? What's going on here? Ammo sound. No, it's not. It's not Quake. If you think you know what this week's What's That is, then send us a private message to our Facebook page, and if you are correct, I will be absolutely blown away, and I'll get you a free game. It's a hard one. Oh, Kazakal's still throwing guesses. This is just talk about shotgun approach. Let's just name every game I can think of, and hopefully I get the right one. Is that what you're trying to do there, Kazakal? Because he's now Halo, Quake, ammo sound when he picks stuff up, or something. Team Fortress 2 vendor. just
no, maybe all his responses are
fuck it. Skrill says, fuck it, Super Mario coin.
Boss says. Maybe when Snoogs is trying to do the reverberation of it.
I actually think I've got the coin here somewhere, do I? What's this?
We can reverberate that one.
Yeah. There we go. And I've got... There you go.
Nope.
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 All right. That's the what's that sound. Hopefully one of you guys can get it and show me how superior you guys are, because it's a tricky one, but it's not impossible. It's like I've said, it's not a weird indie game that nobody's ever heard of. Quite a popular game. Actually, big hint. A very popular game. All right. Let's move on to the next segment, which is What If? Okay, Greg.
I'm not going to take a minute.
Oh, that's bad. That's really bad.
Oh, dear. When you're trying to start a new segment and someone puts in a meme like that in the live chat. Oh, dear.
Wow.
God.
Seriously, to you guys listening at home,
Stop.
if you guys listening at home, we can't repeat half the stuff that gets put into this chat, but if you think that you might be interested in coming to check out what actually gets said in the live chat, come across to our Discord channel. The link is in the description for the podcast. Make yourself known, say hello, and we'll give you special access to the live chat while we're doing the podcast.
Fucking wrong.
And you'll see some of this shit.
Oh, wow.
Ruining the podcast. Sorry, guys. No,
I just read the bottom bit.
Yeah.
I just saw that too.
That's why I said it was wrong.
Oh, I've got a headache now.
See, it was fun. It was funny when I read the top part, and then it just blew me away when I saw the bit at the bottom. Oh dear! These poor people listening in their cars, like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, what's this segment? What are we doing?
I don't know anymore.
What if?
Oh, what if? All right,
if?
what if? That's what we're doing. Okay, so what if Kazakyle hadn't put up that meme? No, so let's get serious. What if? So as you guys already know, what if is where I come up with a topic or someone comes up with a topic and then we blue sky think it. We just shoot for the stars, come up with some great ideas, and then we ask you guys to do the same. And we all get to have a good time thinking about stuff. So this week's is I posed to the guys, pick mobile games that you really enjoy and would like to see upgraded to a AAA rated game status and put onto a console or PC. So I'll kick it off with the example that I gave these guys, which was, as you've probably heard us talking in the chat before, Lucas, Pat, I, even Rem, we all like playing Bowmaster.
Oh yeah.
I would have liked to see Bowmaster remastered with super realistic graphics in like an Unreal Engine-esque fashion. Same gameplay, like literally just trying to shoot each other across the screen with bows and arrows, but I want to see that, 18 plus rating, arrow go through someone's head when you get a headshot. I reckon that'd be a fully sick game.
Yeah,
Lots of fun too.
Oh, I'd play that for sure.
Still have the same characters. So you got the lumberjack that throws chainsaws, and the finishing moves could be amazing. They could be like Mortal Kombat-esque violence. I reckon that'd be cool.
Yeah,
You know what? I think you could take that a step further. I think that would legitimately be an amazing VR game.
Oh yeah, like throwing stuff as well.
2-player Bowmaster VR.
You should have to, you'd see a chainsaw come to your head. You duck every time.
Yeah, you have to duck. And you have a side screen on your visual so you can see what's happening, but you're actually across the room from the person shooting at him.
Yeah, nice. I like that spin. My choice... Oh, sorry, you still going?
No. I was about to ask one of you guys to.
Oh.
So fire away, Luke.
I've got quite a few different ones here that I've thought of. But you know what? I would like a full-sized version of Pocket Mortys. Have you guys played that?
Pocket Mortys. I don't think I played Pocket Mortys.
Pocket Mortys is essentially like a Pokemon game, but with Mortys. It's a Rick and Morty sort of spin on it.
Nice.
Check it out. It's free to play, but I wouldn't mind a scaled up version of that on the console. Pretty much the same game, but just a little bit more fully fleshed out. Would be really cool.
Pocket Morty's Sun and Moon.
Yes, that's right. But yeah, I just want more Rick and Morty games because I love Rick and Morty, and it's always years in between their seasons, the cartoons.
Yes. Mr. Snoogs, what have you got?
Mine was Pocket Mortys.
Oh, really? Really?
Yep.
It's a winner.
That's probably the only game that I play that doesn't have a console sort of style for it. I don't play a lot of games on my phone, only because I've got to use a phone for work, so I hate look at the damn things. But but Pocket Mortys was mine.
Wow. Should have got in there first. Stole your thunder.
Oh,
So
Stole the thunder's good.
I have a question to ask on that. You know how you get those Pokemon that are super common? Like, for me, it's like Radicus. Sorry.
Radicus.
Wow.
Radicus.
Wild Radicus has appeared.
Wow.
Rattata?
Rattata.
Yes, thank you. Rattatas and Pidgeys. Wow, that was terrible. My question with the Rick and Morty version would be, would Meeseeks be like the most common findable character since they just, replicate?
How about a Pocket Mortys Go?
Well, that'd be still a mobile game, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, true.
Doesn't meet the brief.
Wait, sorry, we're not creating mobile games. I forgot about that. We're going the other way.
Yeah.
So next time it'll be going back the other way. So let's keep that one in mind. Pocket Mortys Go.
There we go.
Yep.
But I've got a few. Have you guys played Robot Unicorn Attack?
No. Sounds amazing though.
I'm just thinking, not
Sounds
yet.
very Japanese.
You play as a robot unicorn, strangely enough, and it's a side scroller. It just runs from left to right, and you've got to tap the left side of the screen to jump and the right side of the screen to dash, and you've got to jump across the platforms and dash through obstacles. And it has the most amazing song that just gets me going every time. And I'd like a full console version of this, and it would just have to have super duper mad graphics and the animation of the horses from Red Dead Redemption. Let me see if I can get the sounds up on my phone. Oh, listen to that. Let's get a game going. Reminds me of the Never-Ending Story.
Some...
Really get it? Yeah. Come on. Oh, I just died.
Do you want to know something funny?
Hang on, this is a good bit.
Shut up.
Okay, sorry. What do you want to know?
I'm not sure what just happened, but...
How's this for it? Robot Unicorn Attack, heavy metal.
Yeah, yeah, that would work for sure.
Yeah, there's actually a heavy metal one.
Oh, there is.
Wow. That sounds
I
amazing.
think that actually was from Eurovision, isn't it?
It kind of feels like it.
Because On the Run says next Eurovision winning song. Yeah, that would win. That would get my vote.
Sorry, Skrill.
Skrill ripped my speakers. It's the risk you take listening live. Before all the
We take a lot of
volumes
risks listening live.
are leveled. How's your speakers now, buddy? I know I got a few red bars doing that, so that must have been loud.
That was amazing.
All right. Need counselling after listening live.
Don't we all?
Oh dear.
Sensitivity training.
Do you guys remember flight control?
To Major Tom.
That's not flight control, isn't it? Isn't it?
Ground control.
Ground control. No, flight
I
control. As a game, I specifically let's go back to when the iPhone 3G or whatever it was that came out. Mate at work had one, and he had this game called Flight Control. And at the time, I had a Nokia, so I couldn't get this game. I specifically went out and bought an iPod Touch just so I could play Flight Control because I was addicted to it. Also, I could obviously listen to my music on it. But Flight Control, it was a top-down flight control game where there would be aeroplanes that would fly across the screen. If you didn't do anything to them, they would collide and blow up and it's game over. But you had to touch them and drag a flight path and get them to land. And then as you went on, more planes would come past and helicopters, and you had to make sure that they didn't crash before they landed. That was a brilliant game. I reckon that'd be cool. It's
Sounds awesome.
kind of like a management game. It's really good. There's a couple of knockoffs of it that are still available on iOS, but the actual original game's not available anymore, which is shit because I paid for that.
Snake VR. That's what Rakers reckons.
We can get
That would be
closer to
insane.
The Nokia, the Nokia game Snake, the one that everyone played
Yeah,
back in the day. Snake VR. It was Snake VR.
1,850. That was my high score on a 3210. No, 5110. 5110 that was on.
5110.
Oh, jeez, 5110.
1850.
You had all the new ones.
New one? No, the 5110, that was it. That was the bomb. That was the first one that was good. With the little nubby antenna.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I had a 5115, I think it was 5150 or something. It had the color. It was the one with the color screen. The
First colour screen. No, one of the first.
Yeah, it's one of the first color screens.
Oh no, this one didn't have the color screen.
And I could watch videos on like the internet with it.
The internet scrolling was terrible.
Yeah, it was. It was.
It was awful.
It was appalling. But
Imagine Facebook with no layout. Just text.
the good old
That was
days.
terrible.
So, any more takers? Rem, have you put one in?
I hadn't.
One?
I kind of struggled with this one, but sort of the only game that came to mind was, I guess, a game that, we've both invested a lot of time in. I'd like to see a console or PC version of it. Is Trailer Park Boys. Now, I know they've got the mobile game, obviously, and they've also got a board game, but a console game of Trailer Park Boys would be amazing.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah.
You can play it on PC.
Can you?
Really?
I hadn't come across that.
Is that like an Android simulator thing?
Is that
emulator, I should say?
I don't know.
Is it Greasy Money?
Have a look in the back. Yeah, Greasy Money.
Yeah, that's the mobile one. Yeah,
That's the mobile one that we're playing.
Yes.
No, but like a full
AAA Trailer Park Boys game on console would be just insane. It'd be so good.
like a GDA style.
Yeah.
Run
something
around as Ricky, Julie, and then Bubbles.
Yes. Oh, that would be ludicrous. And Bubbles is just trying to save the day all the time, and the other two are fucking it up.
Saving his cat.
You guys heard that Mr. Leahy died?
I did.
Yes,
It was
so
very
sad.
Yeah.
It was during the recording of the last season.
Yeah.
The last season kind of stopped short
Yeah.
because of it.
Yeah, it's a very funny show, man. I used to watch that back when the first season was out. That's
Yeah.
Have you watched the newer seasons?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude, they're just as good. Oh, so funny. I love it.
Yeah, I love them. They were so damn funny. Like, just the stupid shit that they get up to, Trailer Park Boys. So good. But I think it's on... I think it's on
you'd
Netflix,
have a mechanic when you're playing as... it's on Netflix. So anyone that's interested, jump, and you got Netflix, jump on, watch it. Look, it's an acquired taste. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it is.
You do have to sit through it for a bit and go, all right, I accept this for what it is. And then you can start to sort of really get into the nuances of what makes it quite funny.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Clerks. You know how Clerks was the original one? It was very indie.
Yeah, it does have that feeling. You know what else I've noticed? So, you know the Australian TV show Housos?
Yeah.
I have this funny feeling that they ripped off Trailer Park Boys making that show.
I can see where you're coming from with that. Because
the Trailer Park Boys are in Sunnyvale Trailer Park, and then these guys just happen to be in a fictional Mount Druitt land of Sunnyvale, and it's about a bunch of criminal types living in, what is the lower part of society.
Low socioeconomic communities is what they're known as.
Is that right? Is that what they learned? Is that what they taught you?
Yeah, well, that's what I've been taught. Yeah, low socioeconomic communities, otherwise known as housos.
Deros.
Yeah. Deros.
So, I have this funny feeling that Trailer Park Boys is the slightly more intelligent, funnier Canadian version of Housos. Anything else? Because we're running well. We're well out of time, overtime here. Oh no! Well, let's wrap it up there. So that's it for What If. People listening, if you have some ideas, put them up in Discord, Facebook, so we can check them out. We love hearing your ideas as well. Absolutely. All right, let's move into last words. All right, Greg, we need you to tell us who the said that. Give us the line and who said it. It's a high-pitched sound. Hot rubber eternally pressing against a blackened pavement. A wheel is forever, and a car is infinity times 4. That was spoken by a character called Taurus from a game called Interstate 76. Oh, I know the game. Never played it. Wanted to get it, but never got it. I was only it's one of those games that's actually quite full of those sort of poetic quotes, but that happened to be one of my favourite ones. So I've had it in the back of my head for a little while. So yeah, that was back in the days where I had to basically rely on parents to buy me stuff, and I never got around to that one. Yep. All right. Also, Greg, now that you're back, what's our code word this week? I'm thinking Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai. I don't understand why. Hey, look, I have my means and methods of coming up with these things, and done. It was inspiration, wasn't it? It's always inspiration. Is that two words? Cobra, yeah, Cobra Kai. Cobra 2 words. In the snake, and Kai is in Kai. Kai, yeah, I spelt it right. Is that from G.I. Joe or something? No, it's from Karate Kid. Oh. Cobra Kai was the dojo of the bad guys. Oh, I remember their logo. Yeah. Right. No idea why you come up with that. Weird as, but anyway. It is what it is. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. Cobra Kai. Any last words, peoples? All good from me. He's so slow. Does that insinuate that you know what he's talking about? Yes. Yes, he would know what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm not reading the chat. I missed that. I just scrolled out. I always glean it out of the chat, that's all. So, Yeah, well, see, I'm
looking at what's coming next and all that sort of stuff. As strange as it may seem, I actually do have a not a script, so to speak, but a
plot,
a thing,
an outline, a plan.
Doesn't always seem that way, but I do. So I'm focusing on that, and I've got the chat on my other monitor.
You're Hannibal. You're sitting there making sure the plan comes together.
Exactly. Yes. Shut up, Radicus.
Just got to work out who us three players, because now we've got to work out who's Face, who's BA, and who's Murdoch.
Who cares?
As long as I'm Hannibal, who gives a fuck?
That's another show I never watched, so I don't really know what they're like. What are you talking about?
The Jewelry Man.
The Jewelry Man. Tiger. The Jewelry Man.
Oh, dear.
Sorry. IT Crowd. That's the second time in 2 episodes where I've been on where we've ended up mentioning IT Crowd.
Absolutely.
That's from the IT Crowd? Julie, man.
It is.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the first episode.
The very first episode, he misquotes. He has a picture. And
You think that's my family on my desk.
It's not. It's the A-Team, and it's not the A-Team, which is the best bit. And then he goes up and makes 4 random names for the characters of the A-Team.
Oh,
he has no idea what he's talking about. It's like Dutch, Tiger, the Jewelry Man.
Is that Mr. Renham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Denim Renham.
How good was the episode where he left? He just jumped out the window.
So good.
Just jumped out the window. Done.
I see.
But
Will you make him a coffee, please?
Yeah. But how brilliant was he, the original Renham, and then how amazing was his son to step in and take his spot? So good.
Father.
Seriously, you got to watch the IT Crowd. If you're listening to this podcast, I reckon you would enjoy the IT Crowd.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, the Aunt Irma. Yeah, the Aunt Irma. That's a good one.
Why
can you never find a bloody pen?
when his son opens up his desk drawer and pulls it, my father's gun. It sticks in his mouth and just starts pulling the trigger. Ha 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 ha.
Kazakal saying the US or the UK version. Oh my god, that's not even a question.
No.
The US version doesn't exist. Yes, I agree. Radicus slap.
I smashed some glass over the week and showed you a picture of the German crew of IT Crowd.
Yes, there's a German one. Oh my god.
Ooh. That was
right.
interesting.
Right, any other last words, people?
Yes, I have a sincere apology to Radicus for making him a Pokemon.
Yeah.
But no apologies for making Pat one.
Snooglepuff was a Pokemon last week.
Snooglepuff was a better one.
I wonder if it's loaded.
Having said that, we didn't get anyone drawing a Snooglepuff, which I was...
Oh, I'm disappointed.
I know you guys
So
mentioned
sad.
it last week. I was really looking forward to seeing a picture of a Snooglepuff.
I was hoping someone would draw it, but nobody did. Anyway.
Ooh.
No budding artists.
That's all right.
Snoogs, any last words?
No, I'm good, mate.
Yeah, I'm good too. I've got places to be, so thank you very much to everyone who has listened to the show, and especially to those that are listening, well, this far along, because it goes for a while, this episode. Special thanks once again to Rem, Snoogs, and Greg for your hard work and efforts for the show. Good content this week, loved it. And to all of our listeners, feel free to continue any of the topics that we have discussed on this show on our Facebook page or Discord channel. Links are in the podcast show notes and description down below or above, depending on where you're watching this or listening to this. You can't watch it. That's all from me. As always, I am Lucas.
I'm Remutha.
I'm Grejio.
And I have been Snoogs.
Snooglepuff.
A wild Radicus has appeared.
Goddamn Radicuses.
Don't mess with that unstoppable sex machine. Her parents burnt to death in the water parks.
In a sea parks.
In the sea parks.
In a sea
How
park.
does that happen?
But all of the water. This is the internet, Jen. Be very careful with the internet.
I like being weird. Weird's all I've got. That's my sweet style.
Oh.
People, what bastards.
I feel the need to go and watch Jeopardy.
You're welcome.
Hey, you provided half the content, Kazza.
See you later. Thanks for joining us, legend.
Ich bin ein Nerd.
Oh dear. All right. Well, here we are once again at the end of this week's show. If you're still hungry for more video game content, then head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like. We also have a heavy presence over on Twitter and YouTube, and their links are waiting for you in the podcast description. This podcast is available for your convenience through Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and more. Thanks again for listening. Catch you all on the next episode of the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast. I'll leave that to Zoe. As long as she doesn't follow through.
Go on.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds joking. Go.
What?
Just do it.
What the hell was that?
An elephant?
That's my wife.
In a whoopee cushion, excuse me. You're a mess.
Busted.
What did you want me to do?
What?
What did you want me to do?
Oh, the water.
The water. Right.
I was doing it.
All right. Just to put these sounds into context. Okay, there is a woman.
Recording.
There is probably.
Yeah.
There is a woman in her 30s sitting in my office with the whoopee cushion, giggling because of the way the dog's acting.
Okay.
You are not allowed to put that on the post. I'm
Hey,
telling you that
talk
now.
to Luke. He's the
Luke,
one.
you put it on, and you won't like life.
The fact that you just requested it to not be put in the podcast, it's now making it to the show. Yes. Well, it means she could obviously leave the room so we could start. Then she wouldn't be recorded anymore.
Oh, sorry about that. I was so my Mr. Monster. Going on a bit. Yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to make a fart anymore. Relax.
All right, let's get going because we've got people waiting for us now. Look at that. We've got an audience.
No, honey.
All right, are we ready? I'll
do it.
handle yours.
Yeah.